The following is a reenactment of a true story. On Friday, November 18th of 2021, I merged a text conversation between two of my favorite mediums and closest friends, Sorcha, who you've seen on this channel before, and Alice, her pseudonym, who I met through a consultation a few months prior. Now, I don't know about them, but that night for me turned out to be one of the wildest I've ever experienced as a medium. The craziest thing is, my experience only turned out to be a fraction of all the things that were happening that night. Some days after the event, I saved the transcript of the conversation, and it's going to be read to you by none other than the ones who wrote the text themselves. If you want to know how George finally met his end, how he was taken to the underworld and will never be a problem for anyone, ever again, you're gonna have to go to my YouTube. See you over there.
The convo picks up right where my TikTok reenactments playlist left off, so be sure you're caught up with all of the characters we live with before continuing, i.e. if you don't know who Rupert, Jimothy, Adam, George, Molly, and Alexander are specifically, you're gonna be confused. And then there are some you may have been hearing of for the first time, as well as some that did not want me to use their names for the videos. Their names have been changed for this reading. Lastly, some quick vocab so you're not too lost. Ping is a term I use to send short telepathic messages to spirits who are not nearby, like a text. Anchor is the energetic connection between persons, places, and things that allows spirits to travel. Astral projecting is one's spirit splitting places between a person's physical body and awareness elsewhere. All of us do this on and off throughout the convo, which will explain how we can know what's going on without physically being there. Spiritual projection is when a spirit shares with us what they see, another form of telepathy. And now, a text conversation. Friday, November 18th, 2021, the full moon in Scorpio. Hello, ladies. Sorcha, meet Alice. Alice, meet Sorcha. It would appear our ghost men are going to get into some trouble tonight. I figure it'd be in all fairness we pull one over on them and keep in contact via our own means. So far, the count at Molly's coffee shop is Jimothy, Rupert, Jensen, Adam, Molly, Fanny, Alexander, and his guys, who I forget their names.
Yay! This is so heckin' amazing! Hi, Alice. It's nice to meet you.
Hi, Sorcha. So glad to talk to you finally. That'd be Alexander, William, Domhnall, and Andra.
Jay just got home. He said, "It feels empty, like it's just you and me." Yes. I just told him what's up, and he's cackling.
Meet Alexander. Make sure you guys don't break anything. Alexander responds with, "I promise nothing."
So, I've gotten some pings from Jimothy. Of all people, Jimothy. "Hey guys, wanna go fuck up George? I mean, I already did, but I didn't know if you'd want to." He was met with a swift no, from too many to figure out who it was from.
Also, I'm surprised Alexander passed on a chance to kick George's ass.
They haven't had enough to drink. Huh. I am getting the sense that Alexander's running the decision by Rupert, which is very considerate. So if Rupert gets pissed at some point, I guess George is in for it tonight. I feel like such a spy on the party right now. Great practice for me, I guess.
It's not his nemesis, so that makes sense. But yeah, he's fucked if Rupert says yes, because the Scots are always down for an ass kicking.
And Adam's sitting there going, there would be no possible way to contain them. I don't think he's ever truly been around so many spirits in possession of all their faculties.
This is so good for Adam! You know, I've only seen Rupert truly offset once, and that was when I was leaving him last year, so he's a pretty reserved dude, so I don't see him wanting to take George out without clear provocation. I think he said his birthday was September 23rd-ish. That makes him a Libra. Makes sense. While I was writing this, I just got from him...
Do I have your permission to gut him?
Okay, we will see.
Yes, Rupert.
And from Molly.
I know how to handle a man in a fight. George does have a good face. Pity to see it all banged up. Maybe they can hit him lower if I asked real nice.
Adam and Alexander will get along famously, I'm sure. Both are well-educated men. They can heal and he deserves it. Tell her she can charge George to triage him once it's over.
So, me eating a salad while pinging. I mean, Rupert, if you want. And from Rupert,
Are you eating while I'm implying violently hurting this man?
And then Molly's laughing.
Funny, but no, that's not what I care for.
Why not? A girl's got to eat, and you wouldn't be the first woman to wait for your man to return with the head of your enemy in a basket. Just saying.
Yes, Adam has been so excited about the possibility of meeting Alexander. He fretted over what to wear for all of a minute before popping over to 24th. If they go after George tonight, the gents might want to wake him up a little if they want a coherent fight. The man's still recovering from being hunted on Halloween.
What the fuck? We can make a game of it. Call him from all different areas so he doesn't know which way is safe to run. I mean, the truth is that nowhere is safe. He can't hide, no matter what he thinks. And it is high time he learns he isn't as important as he thinks. Man, dude does not know what he's done and what's coming for him.
Oh, wow. Jay wants to join in. I just picture him on the sidewalk, the only physical dude there, but surrounded by so many men from different time periods and dress.
Yes, Jay, get it!
I'm going to tell him to leave it to the ghost tonight, but he wants a piece. I've never had so many willing to fight for my well-being. I don't know how to take this. I'm a pacifist, but I don't know how well that carries over once a person is in spirit.
I never said the man was all sweetness and light. He's a trained soldier and essentially a spy. This is fun for him.
I mean, if they really want to mess with him, they'll have to figure out his real name. George is a cover.
Oh, they know it. They won't tell us, but they know it.
So rude! Why not?
Not allowed, apparently.
Huh.
Alexander's apparently in uniform at Molly's request. She wanted to see him in a kilt.
Kilt fiend!
What do we have to offer Hecate to override that verdict?
That's his choice, because real names give you some ability to control him.
You know, that's absolutely accurate.
Kicks metaphorical rock. But he's been holding the name thing over me as a way to say I'm still not good at any of this.
Oh, shit.
Huh?
Did anyone else get the sense that they're on the move?
Yeah, I do get that sense. The coffee shop is quiet.
Yes, he is.
Except for Fanny, bless her. And Molly seems tied a little.
Oh, they are.
Oh, cool. Rupert isn't answering me. Did Adam teach Rupert the wall trick? 'Cause I just got a sharp
No, not for you.
end wall.
Yes. Yes, he did.
Damn it. I just asked Jimothy and he just shrugged and said sadly, he told me not to tell you. Perked up and then said, but I still might.
I am just saying or showing you a thing so you didn't pass on your intelligence. That's some bullshit.
Glad to know I was sensing right.
Well, Sorcha, if you want to be a spy and astral down there without bringing attention to yourself, good luck.
She'd know I was there, so I won't even try. Can't hide anything. From him, at least.
I can try. I'll start with a bird. Adam's been saying I remind him of a Merlin, so he'll know what's up, but I don't think he'll out me.
Wait. Oh my, they've all changed clothes.
Oh my. I haven't heard this kind of tone from Rupert. I sort of poked him and was met with a very cold, calculated,
Stay home.
They're dressed in George's period now, to make it even worse for George. They're going all in on this.
It's gotten spooky in here. I found George where he's been huddling near a filing cabinet. I haven't fully projected yet, but I'm hearing it.
What is it?
This is some psychological warfare.
Damn, Rupert.
I have a view. Adam knows I'm here and he's worried he'll get in trouble for letting one of us in if I'm caught.
Thanks, Adam, for being cool.
I'm sure he'll appreciate your accolade.
So, development. I feel strangely sick. And I don't think it was a salad. Yo, why though? I'm actually trying to figure this out. Because if this is one of those sympathy for your abuser things, I feel like that's really lame.
George's fear is burning through the anchor. I can feel it when I reach out to you in the ether. You feel sick because you're feeling George's fear and anxiety empathically. Less sympathy and more energetic connection.
I was wondering that too.
Maybe it is, but think about it this way. They can't kill him. How many people has he done this to? Maybe he'll think twice.
Oh, Okay, cool. Now I'm getting some insults hurled at me from George. Even better. Yep. Acknowledged the connection and got some really nasty bits on this being my fault. Cool.
Update. They're doing creepy whispers, shouting, striking or accosting him, pulling him off balance and then running through walls. He's so disoriented.
Bet Timothy's taking notes on how best to try and scare Jay and me for when he gets back.
Your fault, George, wanker.
Wanker. Good phrase.
Cacophony of shouts. Eerie silence that stretches for too long. Another strike. A scuffle. One of the Klansmen and Jensen running by and buffeting him. They've caught George up and are holding him by the arms in the courthouse. They've been taking turns punching him and growling whispered words I can't catch. I do catch the intention that they're about to put him on trial in the courtroom with Rupert in the judge's chair.
That sounds relatively tame.
Is Rupert just, waiting? Not punching? Yet? Such theatrics.
Oh, shit.
Jay wants to know if George's actual name is Louis or Louis, because that name was gifted to him just now from his patron spirit.
No one's going to lie. No reason. So I promise that name's it. And a name's all you need for a banishing spell.
Oh shit! I just got found out by Rupert. I made. Oh god, that's one stone cold glare.
He's done to others, and now it's his turn is the sense I get. How many people has this dude pissed off?
A lot. I found out about his gang of violent offenders when I went for jury duty a few days before Halloween. This man's been busy in the beyond.
From Rupert.
You knew this.
He's referring to Sorcha being there, and then not answering me again. Wall. I've never heard Rupert this cold. Like, I don't feel he's angry with me, but these are some serious cold feels from him.
Oh, fuck.
Jay says he only has the single name, and that's it, not the full.
Rebecca, you know who he is, who he was, and why Rupert is about to relish justice.
Yes, and I third that Lewis is his name. I need to focus if I want to see more. They're trying to push me out.
You know, I'm still getting pings from George. Of all the souls, I'd prefer to get pings from. Not him. He's really scared.
That's a fucking plot twist and a half. He should be. They know. They all know the truth now.
Jay showed up in Astral? Big deal. According to Jay, his patron spirit took him there after he explained what was happening. And she's still watching. But he went and fucking electrocuted George up the back and then tapped out.
Confirmed and a well done sent next way.
Fucking gods, who is Alexander? He's spotting me and kicking me out.
Oh my god. Alexander's letting me see this. Rupert is holding George by the throat and cursing him for daring to do what he'd done to the two of you, and then think he could just attach himself to you and keep going. From Rupert, it is a pity for you then.
That I woke up, is it not? You cannot keep me from her forever, and you will not. Best laid plans, but you were not counting on this, were you? On the tables turning, and she having the power, having the connections, having the backing to finally break from you. You have nothing. And you are nothing.
This is almost 300 years in the making, and I am here for it.
Not me crying over here or anything. So thanks for the insight, since I've been thoroughly blocked out, except through the interpretations I'm getting from you, Sorcha, and now Jay, through his patron, who is sitting there enjoying the show.
I had to find my way back in. He was keeping me out in my alternate forms. I used the visage of several past incarnations. Even tried no form at all, and then I got come as you are, not at all, lass. So I'm there as myself now. I'm standing with Adam in the pews 3 rows back, left side towards the center.
Well, from Rupert, she's no longer yours to toy with.
And you have no power over her. I cannot possibly adequately pay you back for the harm you have caused. But, as my new friend said so well, if I could, my revenge would be as bloody as I desire. I would happily bathe in your blood while I drink a glass of fine wine.
Oh.
Fucking hell. Sorcha, can you confirm I'm not imagining seeing a really large dog in that room? Because if I'm not imagining that, oh my god.
Frederick! one of Hecate's hounds, a soldier from ancient Greece.
There are rules. That's her. That's what I thought. She's backing them.
Yep.
You ever seen a room full of ghosts take a knee and stare at the floor because I just did?
I hear the murmur of her speaking, but I can't make it out.
It's Hecate. She says, I heard you, Rupert. Do you want your chance? I'm feeling generous tonight.
George's death wound is opening. He's bleeding? I'm having a hard time seeing with so much energy in there, but I feel his wound opening.
If his wound is opening, Rupert said yes. Holy hell. I'm stunned. I've never seen or heard of this.
I feel him choking now.
That smile on Rupert's face. Wow.
I feel blood pooling in George's stomach and pouring out of his mouth. I feel Frederick's growls filling the room. Gods, I'm reduced to feeling right now.
Who called her?
Frederick did.
Alexander did as well. How? I'm not just anyone, but you know that perfectly well. But we all work for someone, my lass, and now you know mine.
Amazing. I love it. On top of my prior warnings, the warning from Frederick was that if George stepped out of line again, he would devour him bit by bit and vomit him up in front of Hecate's feet to face her justice.
Ouch. I don't think he's going to come anywhere near Rebecca again.
Oh, no, I think not.
He's not. I broke the tie.
It's good. That's good. It's what's needed of you.
Well done, lovely. He was planning something for when he was better. That's why it got worse.
I was there. A part of me. Astral. I didn't know I could do that. I'm not sure how well I was seen. I was there for Rupert's eyes. He saw me, and Jay's patron saw me because I sat down with her for a moment. She was on the right side. Anyone else who caught a glimpse of me got to see me look real fine. I did not wear the PJs I'm in now. Jimothy came before it all happened to see if I wanted to go with him. I've never projected like that before. He was sitting next to me on the bed and asked if I wanted to go. He said I could, but I didn't need to. Only if I wanted to. So I was there in Astral, outside of the courthouse across the street. I could see the light from the second floor, but it wasn't from bulbs. It was the energy of it all. It lit up the whole room with a kind of creamy light, but everything else around me was in shades of gray. Heard howling. Felt the weight of Hecate's approach from out there. Then I was back at the bus again. Then back on the street with Jimothy. And then I was in this kind of cloud. I knew I was inside, and Rupert was there. I could hear voices and action happening nearby. But Rupert wasn't seeing me. So I got his attention. I remember the dress that Mary had worn for their secret wedding. I remember the color and the style and the little bows. I remember her and how she would look and the little flowers that she had placed in her braids for the occasion. I knew if he saw her, he would see me. His face was so hardened. But when I called him, he turned and softened. "Mary," he said, "do you like my dress?" I asked, but my voice was still mine. "Beautiful. Are you all right?" "I have him." "I know." There was a pause, and I have no idea where these words came from, but I said, "Free me. Free both of us." In saying that, I felt I wasn't talking about him and me. I was talking about the baby that had died and had been ours. I could feel tears on my cheeks, both there and on me at the bus. He nodded. "I'll wait for you," I said. "Always. Forever. Forever." The next thing I saw was George. He was on his knees and bleeding from his mouth. He was being held there, but I couldn't see if it was from others holding him there or invisible bindings. I stood next to him. He didn't look up to me. I was me again, and wearing the outfit I projected of black. "Never again," I said. "You will never hold power over me again." Just like that, I knew the tie was broken. Next thing I knew, I was back at the bus, and you two were describing the aftermath of how he met his end.
All over now. Nothing to see here.
I feel I played Ghost tonight. Wow, then.
I can feel Rupert's relief. Okay, now I'm crying. I got to set her free as I promised. Finally. He says he's not leaving you, Rebecca, unless you want him to. Please don't be afraid. Please forgive him for shutting you out. I only wanted to protect her, so he could not drag her in. He has hurt her enough for several lifetimes. Please ask her if I'm ever in contact with her.
Hey, I watched George cough up blood from his knees tonight, and I feel really fine. So, I don't feel sick anymore.
He's waiting on permission to talk to Rebekah and apologizing profusely for being in my living room at such a late hour and admiring the art on the walls. Alexander brought him here until we heard back from you.
I do love him, so I'll be on the roof of the bus. He just has to wait for me to climb up there is all.
Acknowledged. The others have gone back to the cafe, drinks all round, and he's off.
I know.
So that was intense.
I just had to explain to Rupert that I was actually there and it wasn't something I made up. So cool, we both have that but what if and is this real problem. In hindsight, I guess that might be considered egging him on, but he said no. It was good to see her again. It reminded him why he wanted to do what he did. I asked him if I was good with my words because I get so flustered usually. But he said I was very good with, well, whatever I said. I don't really remember much now.
I'm so glad you got to do that, both of you. This was the first time I've directly interacted with Rupert, and he's so adorably proper and awkward.
Did I get most of my reenactments right then?
Yeah, you have it right. He's taller than I expected.
Right? I keep getting the tall ones. I'd like to take a moment and recognize the badassery of the mediums in this chat tonight.
I was still processing the fact that mine is apparently some sort of agent of Hecate, because what the fuck? Explains a lot, though.
And what a way to come out about it, too. I was wondering where he was getting this list of rules from.
It really does explain it. I was impressed when he managed to lock me out of the courtroom for a bit. Haven't run across too many that can do that lately.
I mean, it certainly explains his energy and presence as well as his abilities.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm crying so much tonight. Good crying, I promise. My therapist will be so proud I've been crying for once.
Okay, good. That's what you need. Alice, I'm so glad you were gifted with another piece of your puzzle.
Alexander gets more and more complex every time you mention his name.
Tell me about it. So, everyone there tonight not already in her service is about to be offered the option. Nothing will happen if they decline, but if they accept, they'll never need to fear the fog again.
So in further development, Rupert is just remembering stuff about Wales all of a sudden. Stuff like his mother's name, the town he was closest to. I'm seeing a location on a map. What his father looks like. The deaths of his two older brothers, who I didn't know about this before. This is a big deal. I was just typing that to send, and then I read your text.
He accepted the deal.
Wow, that is a hefty boon.
Oh, Rupert.
He shrugged and said, she offered what I wanted.
Your life with him is about to get way more interesting. He's not asking to do anything bad or anything he can't do. No harming others. Not sure what it is.
From him,
She said I may have more time with you before I'm called into more active service, and that I get to catch your soul at the end. Don't worry about me leaving again, Carid. It's for you.
so that's a thing?
Perfect.
So Hecate just low-key made herself an army tonight, huh?
Sounds like he got a similar deal to Alexander.
Huh. Was Alexander the one to suggest you book that general consultation with me back in September?
She's like you. You should talk to her. Wait, you bastard. I see what you did there.
Casual for, oh, by the way, the Hecate says hi, and that some shit is brewing, and ha ha ha, I know stuff you don't. And Sorcha introduced me to Hermes, and that's been monumental. Now I'm like, oh my god, Destiny, okay, cool, I see you now. Happy 30th year on Earth to me.
Love it.
Victorian London actresses. Ring a bell, Rebekah. I think everyone is besties now, and I kind of love it.
Did one of us have red hair and the other black?
Indeed. I was always jealous of the red. Still am, to be honest.
Ooh, so the next past life to uncover then.
Wonderful. It's so good to have found this connection. For me, it's time to sleep as work comes early tomorrow. What a productive evening.
Night, Sorcha.
I'm gonna go catch up with Jay. Wow, what a night. I wonder if I'll sleep at all. You two are awesome. Good night.
Well, ladies, good morning. Thought I would share some interesting developments that happened last night. I am so proud of Jay for working with this patron on astral projection. He's never done that before. And not only did our spirit guy see him, he also was able to offer me a very clear description of a number of them there and exactly where they were. He has never seen with his eyes any of these guys, and I haven't even given him full descriptions before. We found on a map where Rupert lived. The biggest issues we were facing were spelling and pronunciation changes. And for the life of me, I could not spell or pronounce any of these places he had pointed out. But we have a map from 1760 we found online, and he clearly started to point out things about the location, and I finally got to see the river it was that he had talked about a few times now. This might be from me staying up very late last night. However, I would like to note I did actually sleep straight through the night, which has not happened in I cannot tell you how long. Apparently, when I projected myself as Mary for Rupert last night in the courtroom, and this is him telling me this, I don't fully remember saying this, so I'm going to go with the understanding that I passed on the reins over to my past life for most of that conversation. He said that Mary had said to set her free, and so he did. Lastly, I did offer my gratitude to Hecate last night. You know, my clairvoyance when it comes to seeing with my physical eyes comes and goes, but I saw her essence very clearly, at least her outline behind the bus last night. And I remember asking if there was more that I thought to offer in gratitude beyond the general sorts of things. And she said that Rupert had paid for me, as it was his choice to do so. I'm, still reeling. Well, glad to see things are back to normal, because Rupert's sitting here in the passenger seat of my car asking why all of this is such a big deal and why do I feel the need to keep sharing things with the two of you. I told him I was proud of him, and he beamed at that just before going back to the typical nonchalant him and asking what the headlines of NPR were today.
It's so great that you were able to work together and finally find his point of origin on the map. I remember how groundbreaking it was for Adam to do so. I can't wait to hear more about it and more about what he remembers. Last night, I pretty much got perpetually booted from the courtroom once Rupert identified that the Merlin was me and indicated to Alexander that he did not want me observing. When I finally came as myself, I was able to sense energies and placement and to tap into the emotions and quote-unquote physical experiences of the spirits that I know well. But other than that, there was just too much light and energy to feel like I was seeing more than moving shadows through a warped, dusty glass. I realized that Alexander must have been backed by someone big if he was able to keep me from the room however long. When they went back to 24th, I tried to follow, but got the sense that the space wasn't for me and that it would be rude to come in. So I turned back into a Merlin and flew over the river for a bit, feeling a bit dumb and sorry for myself for not being able to break through and completely experience the event, until I felt a pull back to the courtroom. From my link with Hermes, I got the indication that I needed to leave the men, and Molly, and Fanny, alone. I had a job to do. Walked around the place where it happened in the courthouse, able to see and hear fully once again. Curious on how final the verdict had been, I reached out with my senses to see if anything remained. After a few moments of waiting, what little of George's energy that was left in the courtroom and the courthouse at large coalesced into some kind of non-sentient shade where his form last stood. Hermes then appeared beside me, opened a yawning tunnel into the ground, gestured for me to walk with them, and so Hermes and I escorted this shade to the banks of the river Styx and left it there. Sans Obel. He won't be hurting anyone on this side of being anytime soon.
Rupert doesn't feel unsettled anymore. Like, when he came back last night, I was like, ew, I recognize you, but you're not all gooped up. He's reading over my shoulder. Gooped? I felt the party happening at 24, and I get what you mean, Sorcha. I asked if Rupert wanted to go, and he did end up going. I was super asleep by that point. He's smirking. A shrug. Wow. Good job. I was fooled. That's fine. I wouldn't have known the difference. That brings some final closure. What you and Hermes did. Thank you. Rupert nodded. Good. It's done. Side note, at the gym this morning, I was like, Hermes, guess what? And he laughed and looked at Rupert and said, good job, kid. Wouldn't have thought you had all that in you. I'll be seeing more of you. Then back to me. You've got enough energy on your own today, kid. See you around. And that was it. I'm downtown now. It feels different. Like, there's an energy that's holding its breath.
Here's Alexander's full account. What you sense is the stillness that comes after a major storm or a battle, the world waiting to see if it is safe to come out again. The spirit residents of the area are speaking about it in hushed tones, lest they be next, but they are talking. He was there for quite some time, being domineering and controlling. What you didn't know is that what he was doing was far more than what you saw. He and his little crew would pressure and intimidate, threaten with things they couldn't do because they knew others didn't realize they couldn't. He would force them to do things for him under the threat of seeing them off. When Rebekah returned and he realized who she was, well, he couldn't help himself. He ingratiated himself with her, acting all charming, until she was disarmed enough for him to stop the control. He was trying to play the long game. His thought was that he's controlled her in different lifetimes, real to him, now would be no different. What he wasn't counting on was the world being a wider place and her ability to reach others like her. He certainly wasn't counting on my lass or what she was bringing into Rebekah's life. I was tasked with taking stock of the whole situation and reporting back. When I first encountered him, he and his idiots tried to intimidate me and didn't know how to deal with it when it didn't work. I was shielding then, so they had no idea who I really was. I let her Grace know, and she decided she wanted to pay a topside visit herself to handle this. She doesn't take kindly to spits like this. She went up on Halloween and let him know, gave him a taste of what might happen. This enraged him, and he blamed Rebekah for it, started plotting to get to her without doing it himself, thinking that meant that he was all clear from breaking the rules. He was wrong. Her Grace knew damned well that was what he was about. She was monitoring it and was giving him enough rope to hang himself. She never would have let any harm come to Rebekah or anyone else. She set the date, and that date was communicated to those involved. Don't be angry with Rupert. I told him that for your safety, you were to be kept as far from this as possible. I had informed him of who this man was to you and who he'd been, and that was why he made comments about gutting him. He knew. He just had to be patient. I had Uliam, Domhnall, and Andra draw the band of clowns out, thinking they were new and could go after the three. We dispatched them first, which was easy enough. I have enough strength on my own to handle that work. The looks on their faces when they realized what was happening was priceless. After that, we went and collected the others. Molly played her part well, drawing him out with an offer he couldn't refuse, and thus the whole thing kicked into motion. To the question of if this happens often, no, at least not like this. It happens often with agents like myself, or now Rupert when he gets to that point, but it is rare that her Grace herself comes topside to deal with it, and rare still that she grants the temporary power to a spirit in order to let them get justice. The smile you saw was him realizing he had it, feeling it in himself, knowing he was about to end the threat to the woman he loved. There's nothing more satisfying, I can promise you. He had a choice to make, and he had to make it fast or to make him suffer, and you saw what he chose. I don't blame him for it, for making the man feel every ounce of what he'd inflicted upon others. Once Rebekah had her say and cut the tie, she left so we could finish it, and we did. After all was said and done, her Grace offered all involved a reward as well as her protection. Rupert immediately asked to be like me and to be able to have the same deal I have, and that was granted. As you can see, he is now stronger and has more abilities, and will grow stronger still as he learns. Molly asked for the girls at the cafe to be looked after, and for it to be a safe space for spirits. This was granted, and Molly is the same as she was, except for a bit stronger of a presence, thanks to her Grace's protection, and she will not have to worry about anyone banishing her or entering the feud, as you call it. Adam, of course, immediately asked for protection of Sorcha and her family as his reward. It was granted, and he was offered the ability to work as we do, and he's still considering that, though my understanding is that his would be less on the ground and more research and tracking. I cannot speak for what the others asked, for they asked for it privately, and I don't know what their choices were or what they were offered. It is now safe to come out, and you will see far more activity, I think, so just be aware of it.
I'll keep that in mind.
I'll keep that in mind. Wow. So, this is the secret life of ghosts, huh? Huh. I'm gonna think about all of this at some point. For now, well, For now, I think I'll just, I don't know, be me? Exist? Ask Rupert endless questions until he wishes he could forget again. Nah, not that many questions. Maybe. Really, though, I've never seen him like this. He's so happy. And I can't help but be happy, too. I don't know how things will ever be what I once considered normal ever again. And I think I'm okay with that. So here's to all of us, right? A new start. And I guess I won't have to worry about ever walking home alone ever again. Not what I thought I needed, but I'm pretty okay with the results. Anyway, have a good day, sisters. I'm sure there will be more to come from all of this.
Cool. Thanks, friends.
Yeah!
Yeah.
I miss you, friends.
Yeah.